Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Mathematics, an attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. Compatibility of observations. The results of two tests were in correspondence. Similarity by virtue of corresponding. The relation of corresponding in degree or size or amount. Communication by the exchange of letters. A wheel that regulates the rate of movement in a machine, especially a wheel oscillating against the hairspring of a timepiece to regulate its beat. Mathematics, an attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. The seventh sign of the zodiac. The sun is in this sign from about September 23rd to October 22nd. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. In all perfectly beautiful objects there is found the opposition of one part to another in a reciprocal balance. A weight that balances another weight. Equality of distribution. Something left after other parts have been taken away. He took what he wanted and I got the balance. Astrology. A person who is born while the sun is in Libra. Hold or carry in equilibrium. Bring into balance or equilibrium. She has to balance work and her domestic duties. A scale for weighing, depends on pull of gravity. A state of equilibrium. Be in equilibrium. Compute credits and debits of an account. Equality between the totals of the credit and debit sides of an account. The difference between the totals of the credit and debit sides of an account. Mathematics, an attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. Mathematics, an attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. Physics, the property of being isotropic, having the same value when measured in different directions. Balance among the parts of something. The statement, oral or written, of an exchange of promises. They had an agreement that they would not interfere in each other's business. Compatibility of observations. There was no agreement between theory and measurement. The thing arranged or agreed to. Harmony of people's opinions or actions or characters. The two parties were in agreement. The determination of grammatical inflection on the basis of word relations. The verbal act of agreeing. Similarity by virtue of corresponding. The relation of corresponding in degree or size or amount. The relation of corresponding in degree or size or amount. Any property relating to or occupying space. Any property relating to or occupying space. A feeling of sympathetic understanding. Capability of existing or performing in harmonious or congenial combination. A Gestalt principle of organization holding that, other things being equal, parts of a stimulus field that are similar to each other tend to be perceived as belonging together as a unit. The quality of being similar. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. A ratio of two quantities that is constant. Mail that includes letters and postcards and packages sealed against inspection. Mail that includes letters and postcards and packages sealed against inspection. Not having or not capable of producing colors. The movie was in black and white. A black and white photograph or slide. Communication by means of written symbols, either printed or handwritten. Mail that includes letters and postcards and packages sealed against inspection. Mail that includes letters and postcards and packages sealed against inspection. The highest rank in a classification. The most expensive accommodations on a ship or train or plane. Communication by means of written symbols, either printed or handwritten. Communication by means of written symbols, either printed or handwritten. A property of polygons. The property of having equal sides and equal angles. The property of symmetry about an axis. The starfish illustrates radial symmetry. A property of polygons. The property of having equal sides and equal angles. The quality of being characterized by a fixed principle or rate. He was famous for the regularity of his habits. The property of being symmetrical about a vertical plane. The property of being symmetrical about a vertical plane. The property of being symmetrical about a vertical plane. Orthodoxy in thoughts and belief. Correspondence in form or appearance. Acting according to certain accepted standards. Their financial statements are in conformity with generally accepted accounting practices. Concurrence of opinion. Hardened conventionality. Correspondence in form or appearance. A list of dishes available at a restaurant. A printed or written greeting that is left to indicate that you have visited. A sign posted in a public place as an advertisement. Golf. A record of scores, as in golf. You have to turn in your card to get a handicap. A witty, amusing person who makes jokes. Baseball. A list of batters in the order in which they will bat. The managers presented their cards to the umpire at home plate. Separate the fibers of. A printed circuit that can be inserted into expansion slots in a computer to increase the computer's capabilities. A card certifying the identity of the bearer. He had to show his card to get in. A rectangular piece of stiff paper used to send messages may have printed greetings or pictures. They sent us a card from Miami. Ask someone for identification to determine whether he or she is old enough to consume liquor. I was carded when I tried to buy a beer. One of a set of small pieces of stiff paper marked in various ways and used for playing games or for telling fortunes. He collected cards and traded them with the other boys. Thin cardboard, usually rectangular. The conventional characters of the alphabet used to represent speech. His grandmother taught him his letters. An award earned by participation in a school sport. He won letters in 3 sports. A written message addressed to a person or organization. Mailed an indignant letter to the editor. A strictly literal interpretation, as distinct from the intention. He followed instructions to the letter. Mark letters on or mark with letters. Owner who lets another person use something, housing usually for hire. Set down or print with letters. Win an athletic letter. A written message addressed to a person or organization.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.